Musharraf a letter to be sent in the event of your death by assassination, urging him to investigate certain individuals in his government. Is that true?
Yes, it is true that I wrote to General Musharraf. I received information from General Musharraf that a friendly country had passed on to them the information that I could be attacked by a gang from the Afghan warlord Baitullah Masood, or by Hamza bin Laden, the son of Osama bin Laden, or by the Pakistani Taliban in Islamabad, or by a group in Karachi. So I sent back a letter saying that while these groups may be used, I thought it was more important to go after the people who supported them, who organized them, who could possibly be the financiers or the organizers of the finance for those groups. And I named 3 individuals who I thought were their sympathizers. Now I understand that I could be wrong and my suspicions could be misplaced, but these are the people that I suspect want to stop the restoration of democracy. They want to stop my return because they know in 1993, when Pakistan was on the brink of being declared a terrorist state, I stopped the rise of terrorism, and they know that I can do it again. So I feel that these are the forces that really want to stop not just me, but the democratic process and the will of the people from triumphing.
And in terms of these 3 people that you mentioned, were they members of or associated with the government?
Yes, well, one of them is a very key figure in security. He's a former military officer. He's someone that has had dealings with Jaish-e-Mohammed, one of the banned groups, with Maulana Azhar, who was in an Indian jail for decapitating 3 British tourists and 3 American tourists. And he also had dealings with Umar Sheikh, the man who murdered Osama bin Laden. Now I know that having dealings with people does not necessarily mean direct evidence, but I also know that internal security has totally collapsed in Pakistan, and that internal security cannot collapse without there being some blind eye, if not collusion, being turned to the rise of the militants and militancy. Not only are our tribal areas out of our control, but even the beautiful valley of Swat is now under takeover by Islamists. So I would like to see a Pak-led police inquiry assisted by Scotland Yard or the FBI come in, use their forensic and scientific explanation to find out not only the perpetrators, but the financiers and the organizers of this heinous crime that killed 158 innocent people.
Yeah, peace and love, everybody. Before I even get into this one, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, follow, share. This one that everybody need to know about. The lady that you just heard speak was the great former Prime Minister of Pakistan, Miss Benazir Bhutto. She was a very courageous woman. I believe her father was the prime minister in Pakistan before her some years, and she ended up coming back into power later on and trying to, do a lot of things for the people of Pakistan. She truly is a very heroic person. But to get into the story and why this video is so significant, this particular interview goes back to 2007. So, in this interview, she had already stated that Osama bin Laden was already dead. And what I, am always trying to impress upon people is the fact that, there's so many different events, so many different news stories that are all socially engineered and geared towards pushing agendas that would make people want to accept this whole totalitarian one world order that they're trying to create. And they sensationalize these things and make people either heroes or villains based on whatever it is they're trying to accomplish. So in this particular instance, you hear her basically pleading for her life in so many words. She's letting it be known that her interior defense, the people who are there to protect her, was all depleted, and that multiple people had already been named as potential people that were going to come assassinate her. So she basically knew she was operating on borrowed time, and she ended up putting this information out about Osama bin Laden already being dead, which becomes very, very important because Barack Obama takes a podium and says later on, I'm the person who had killed Osama bin Laden. When they say I ain't tough, I killed Osama bin Laden, right? And, you know, a lot of people that look like me is from my community. They hold Barack Hussein Obama in high regard, unbeknownst to them that he's actually related to the Bush family. His paternal grandfather is, I think, second cousin to George Bush Sr. Don't worry, I'm going to make sure that I do the videos on all of these different things and make sure that all the information gets out there. And hopefully they won't try to take this one down, but because they haven't taken a lot of my videos down. But I digress to the point. They made, you know, movies and documentaries and just all sorts of things surrounding this so-called event where Osama bin Laden was supposedly killed by SEAL Team 6. And just like I did in the Epstein video and explain that code of 6, is very important to understand the communication, because this goes into their religious books that they created to put the world under a spell. And these numbers, signs, and symbols become very important for you to comprehend. But the communication through the 6 is, of course, the J people, you know. So whenever you see that, understand that that is of significance, because when they're communicating in these codes, 6 is, of course, the number that controls time, but it's also relative to the planet Saturn, which has a hexagonal shape at the North Pole. That's why they tell you Santa Claus comes from the North Pole, because there's a hexagonal shape at the North Pole of Saturn, and that's why Saturn is Satan, and Satan and Santa is actually an anagram, and that's why Santa wears all red. But that'll be in another video. But I definitely just wanted to put this out here so people would understand and comprehend that Osama bin Laden was already dead before Barack Obama became president in 2008. And she gave this interview in 2007, you know. So it'll be more to come. So like I said, y'all, keep tapping in with your boy. Keep sharing them. Like, subscribe, follow The Real Young Bread, IG, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube as well. Peace and love, family.